Thanks a lot, Dr. Pooja, I think, for joining in. I really appreciate your time and like for coming at such a short notice. Great, I think perfectly. So just to give like the audience also a quick context of the entire well-being series that we are doing. So primarily this we like along with Project Mumbai, who are again a leading NGO in the Mumbai region, right? So primarily how we are also like decoding the impact of the pandemic, right? Towards the well-being of the frontline workers and the COVID heroes. Just a suggestion, like Dr. Pooja, if you can just go on mute, by like I mean probably while speaking, then we can have that. I think there is some disturbance. Yeah, so sorry. Great. So primarily how we are also decoding the impact of the pandemic, right, along with the Project Mumbai team. So I am Kanhai from the team FitKit. So we primarily are engaging with different stakeholders to ensure their fitness and wellness in a more gamified manner. So again, like speaking about the mental well-being and fitness, I think like none better than Dr. Pooja to have with us today. So just like quickly giving the audience also a quick introduction about Dr. Pooja as well. So Dr. Pooja again is a physician having extensive knowledge in the medicinal field. By way of qualification, Dr. Pooja has completed SCPH and SCPH Plus along with several courses on nutrition, diet planning, fitness management across the globe. In the past, Dr. Pooja has also worked as Chief Project Manager with Joshi Research Institute India, which dealt with again multiple stakeholders across the globe and worked as the OPD for hospitals in Mumbai. I think it's such a busy schedule, and I know I have been like very mean to you on like inviting you at such a short notice. But thanks a lot for taking out time, and we're really honored to have you, Dr. Pooja. Yeah, thank you. Uh, Great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Karnai. That was too much to hear about myself. It was a proud moment to take it. Yeah, so we can go ahead with the conversation as it was decided yesterday.
Definitely. Yes, please. So I think just to again like wanted to have a quick dialogue and like a candid conversation, since like there are
Yeah, yeah.
people from like various regions joining in and across age groups as well, since that's again one really good factor that we also wanted to cover. So great. So I think just to quickly start, right? So I remember like while we were having the conversation yesterday itself, I remember you telling me that you feel honored to be like a homeopath, right? So that's like really
Yes.
beautiful to hear like someone who is so religiously following her passion, even in the current scenario. So just wanted to like understand about your journey in a quick nutshell. If you guys like, you can just probably share with the audience maybe a few highlights that you might have experienced in this journey so far, so that it helps us.
Yeah. See, the journey is still going on. Okay, so it has started somewhere in 2002, and I'm yet a student of homeopathy. I've yet not mastered the pathy. I'm still learning for my master, for my seniors, and of course, learning with my patients. So, after taking admission into this BHMS Streamline, slowly I developed the liking for the pathy. And along with this, the basic important thing that I learned was diet and nutrition. So, both these things work hand in hand for me. So the journey so far was very beautiful because of my patients and because of the results that the pathy was giving. So to be precise, Kanna, the journey is still going on.
That's wonderful. I think speaking about learning, right? So I think 2020 for me personally, I mean, I would speak for myself here. It is more of unlearning things as well, right? Because it has taught us so many things and it has been unique in so many ways. So there have been so many challenges that we all have come across, right? But just more from a nutrition and a diet perspective, like what were like the top challenges that you also faced as a doctor, as maybe a nutritionist, in your profession as a whole? I would love like if you can just share some insights or some challenges that you had faced as a doctor.
Yeah. See, the first thing what happened to us was closing and shutting our OPDs. Okay, that was the first thing, that came like, and basically, my clinic and my setup is inside a fitness center. So it's a big center at Goregaon, where first thing what happened was uh, the gym was shut down. So me and my colleague, we were there to take care of the OPD. And after the that Janta curfew thing, after 22nd March, we had to shut down our OPD for another few days. So that was a 21 days or something. So from April onwards, we restarted our OPD. But the biggest challenge was to call our the clinic staff back, the process of sanitization, the safety precautions that we had to take. And even after all these things, the most important part to deal with was the anxiety and fear which had developed in people, that they were also not ready to step out. Or, if you have some minor elements, so you will think, no, I can stretch it on for few more months or few more days. So I will talk about both the things, like what happened with homeopathy and what happened with diet and nutrition also. So the homeopathy medicine, we could, courier them, or we could ask them to come at least once a week or once a month and collect your medicine for a month long. So even the practice got hampered because the new cases weren't generating. Because you could see that even the surgeries were postponing, even all the surgeons were at home. The all medical fraternity, apart from the COVID and the ICUs, were actually shut down. So that time was very hectic, or I mean, very challenging for us. And the nutrition part, if you'll ask me, it was because now people were actually eating homemade food. Outside food was stopped. So and there were no maids. So people gradually started working for themselves. The way they were working from home, they started working for home too. So that was added exercise for them. Not possible for many people.
Mhm.
Because then they were not foods, availability of the thing. Ask them to challenges were everywhere in terms of anticipation, anxiety, fears, and of course, few things have now mellowed down. But that time we have literally faced it.
No, lovely. I think speaking about anxiety, right? So I also had this out just out of curiosity, right? How like considering different age groups, right? The anxiety, the stress again like differs to different age groups, if I'm correct. So like how like does homeopathy like have any like a short solution, right? I mean, since people are moving towards like allopathy drugs, right, as an emergency. So how do you like see homeopathy addressing these like issues, which like across different age groups, maybe not just for children or maybe like old age, but like for example someone who is in the middle 20s, for me, like how like do you have any like short solutions that homeopathy also offers or guarantees?
See, homeopathy works basically, at the level of body and mind.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever a person is coming to us for some elements, so what we say in our language is body never lies. If you have some issues in your body, there has to be some or other mental correlation to it. So we, try to poke to that really what had happened. If you have started with some X and YZ issue few years back, so what had happened a month before, or what had happened like that. So as you are asking me for the sure short solution, yes, we do have some medicines, but homeopathy is not like, it's not for cough, or it's not for cold, or it's not for anxiety. It's subjective, person to person. That every person has got different temperament, and every person has got their different reaction to the situation. So I can guarantee you that we give results, but it also differs from a person to person. So if you want me to tell you that if I have witnessed, if some things which were like an emergencies, or for which we always seek allopathic medicine. So I have treated and I have witnessed so many medical conditions in which homeopathy has worked wonderfully well. In case of asthma, in my patient, in my clinic, in my OPD itself, I've given a medicine, and within 5 to 10 minutes, I've settled down a patient. So it has happened with asthma. It has happened with skin allergy. If you might have seen that there are some patients who get, even in the hotel while eating, they get the complete allergy if they happen to eat some food which is allergic to them. That is, so even that is treated instantly. And fevers, and the most importantly, which everyone would be interested in, homeopathy and COVID. So we have treated and we have distributed so many of the arsenic album, if you have heard of that. During that time, the homeopathic drug was wonderfully working as a preventive, as a precautionary. So we have just distributed it to our patients also, and we have even treated COVID-19 positive patients and made them negative as well. So in case of fever, because this was also viral fever, So homeopathy has worked in all that strata, right from the, I mean, all the
Different
emergencies.
causes, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes. But in COVID also we have given wonderful results.
No, but great. But I think just for example, since you mentioned about different age groups, right? But in terms of the timeline, like the deficiency again shows over a certain period of time, right? So how, like for example, as an individual, I might not even understand if I'm really facing this problem. So how do you like how do you really like how sooner or how do you consult?
Yeah, I'm getting your point. I'm getting your point. See, Kanna, what happens, if you have any deficiency, it will speak up.
Okay.
And you are the only person, like the patient is the only person who will understand it at first go. That if I'm having some problem, it's not that I'm not going to understand that. And when
Right.
you are going to come to a doctor, I can catch it with your symptoms. That
Right.
okay, if you are having leg pain or if you are having tiredness, lethargy, fatigue, then it could be some vitamin deficiency. So we can screen you for vitamin D3, for vitamin B12, for anemia, for thyroidism, okay, or for cholesterol. But yes, it never happens that a person is pretty much hell and hearty, and the reports are very much negative. So
Right.
we always have to think that if symptoms are there, we should treat it symptomatically. I mean,
Okay.
it shouldn't be like unnecessary. If I will might get this deficiency, so better I'll take this medicine. No, it's not like that.
Right.
It always that every vitamin or every mineral who gives some kind of deficiency will give some kind of symptoms in your body. And when you will get some symptoms, you should come. Now, what happens in so many people, they are so busy, or maybe they are so reckless with their own self that they might not understand that their body is giving some symptoms. So for them, I will say that kindly go through, some 6 monthly screening, if not at least hemoglobin check, vitamin D3 check, or take a supplementation of vitamin D3 at least once in a year. That's what we advise. Even if the vitamin D levels are fine, I mean, it's not giving you any symptom, but taking vitamin D3 once in a year for 6 weeks is something advisable. Okay, and
Right. But
the way you're talking about age groups, okay, let me come to that point. Now, what happens, we start from this infancy. So for first 6 months, 1 year, generally there are no deficiency if the baby is breastfeed and the mother is taking a good amount of supplementation. Eventually, if any symptoms arise, we tend to give some supplementation. And then the teenage and the adolescents, and then as you said, this age group of 20, 21 and all. So this is typically age group which generally doesn't have any deficiencies because they're eating properly and all. But still, if you find any symptoms in your body, you should seek medical help. And plus 30 and plus 35 is a time, and 40, 45, 60 is a time. You have no option. You have to keep screening yourself.
right. No, I think I totally get your point. Like the patient really understands like when he or she is probably going through some issue, right? But like speaking about just to like coming to the mental aspect of it, for example, like I think my parents are also here, so I think they'll also be more relatable to them as well. Because certain times what it happens, there are like certain underlying issues, right? That the probably child or maybe someone in his teenage might be going through, right? Maybe some kind of abuse or some kind of like some kind of trauma, right, in his or her own life. So how do you like really tackle this situation? Because you might, I mean, I as a person, I might not come to you saying कि यार मुझे ये problem है. Like this is what I'm going through. I'm not sure how to really go like tackle these scenarios, right? So in these cases, how do you really like do you like since you are a consultant yourself? So like what's your take on it? Like how do you really get the things out of the individuals in these cases?
See, homeopathy is an art and science. It's not just a science. It's an art and ability that you have to take out that innermost part from the patient. And the way I told you in the very beginning, that body doesn't lie. If you have left-sided problem, if you have right-sided problem, if you have problem with a specific organ, then it has got a mental origin, and which we have studied already. So even if a person has decided that I am not going to speak a word, in front of a doctor, and he has to treat me or she has to treat me, being a homeopath, we can do that because homeopathy is absolutely in proportion with the mind symptoms or the mind of the body or you can say the physical symptoms are directly proportional to your mental symptoms. So as you said that, everyone will not open up for the case. So it's an art and science. Basically, you have to sit with the patient. That is why. And the solution, as you asked me, so there are two ways. So if you ask me my way is treating it with homeopathy and diet and nutrition if it's required. And in other way, there are psychologists, other way there are psychiatrists, other way there are counselors who are ready to help in such scenarios. Okay, but if because you're asking me how I will treat it, then I will treat it homeopathically. For that, I will definitely need that person's time for the first case taking, and I will make it a point that the case goes in such a way that I will get the outputs from it. I should be able to get that. Otherwise, I'm really not that fruitful homeopath. And apart from that, the way I told you that body doesn't lie. So for example, I'll just give you one example. If some person is coming to me for acidity, I already know that he has suppressed his anger. Or I already know that the person has got angry temperament somewhere. Or in other words, if there is a child coming with asthmatic attacks again and again, okay, then there has to be a domination or a fear of suffocation. So these are all kind of correlations, what we call as psychosoma. Psycho is a psychiatric part of it, soma is a bodily part of it. So when you're asking me what is my way of treating is, it's with the homeopathy, and it's a beautiful science and a medicine which are absolutely having no side effect. And they are energy medicines. They are not a medicine specific for XYZ disease. It's a constitutional remedy for every person. So it differs. And then, of course, if they need homeopathy and if they need diet and nutrition for their further well-being, we do prescribe it.
Right. So I just, on a lighter note, I still remember my parents taking me to homeopath, and I used to get small white.
Yes.
Those are really lovely. I mean, I still remember. I used to love going to. I still remember the name of the doctor, Humran Wala. It was near like where I stay. So
Yes,
I used to
Dr.
definitely.
Umran Wala, she's a really a senior most homeopath.
Right.
Perina's Umran Wala.
Yes. Correct. Yes. So great, but I think just speaking about the age group and the gender aspect also you covered, right? In terms of like, let's say for example,
our medicine starts from the newborn to older age. Correct. So for the all age groups, it's very and as I told you that it's really an art and science. So it's a science which has got something to do with the art. It's not like a mathematics that I have some XYZ disease and I have to give. It's like if acidity, Gelusil work. Right. It's a fever, paracetamol work. So only in cases of fever, we have 100-200 remedies which we give in 100-200 different patients, not a one single remedy. But yes, in case of epidemics, now what we had, this was a genus epidemicus. So that time the one remedy, gelsemia, there are few remedies like camphora, were treated in were being treated by mass population.
Mass population, right. So just like one like in continuation about the age group, right? So considering like where I personally have heard like a lot of cases where girls of age group of around 8 to 10 years, they suffer from like hormonal imbalance as well, right? And there are certain effects to it. So what causes these kind of changes, and like what do you advise the parents, right, when it comes to like dealing with these scenarios? So yeah, if you can just probably throw some light on that particular aspect.
I will definitely. So as you said, no, that 8 to 10 years of age. So let me just put a little focus on it. That when we were young, it was a time when our mothers or grandmothers would tell that they used to get menses at 16 years, maybe 14 years. Then the age came down to 12 years. By the time it was our generation, okay, when we were 12 years old, or the all those who were 90s born. Then now what we are observing is nowadays girls of 8 to 10 years have started getting menstrual cycles. Now, what could be the reason why this puberty age has come down? What is the reason? What is so different? So definitely you can see the difference lies in the lifestyle. Now, what has changed from our grandmothers to us, to our kids, is the generation next. the lifestyle change. We are more relaxed at the physical level and more stressed at the mental level.
Right.
And that stress, even a child of 6-year-old, first standard child also carries. So, and one more thing is exposure. So in this, this what we call is as a precocity of children, or there is
Right.
over maturity of a children. Why it has happened? Because they have been exposed. They have been exposed to everything, while the exposure that really matters, the lifestyle that really matters, and then of course the mental stress that I spoke about. So if you say what a mental stress a 3-year-old is carrying or a 6-year-old is carrying, because you can see the divorce cases, you can see that the parents are fighting in front of the child. Even that is also not so common few years back, 30-40 years back, which is a quite
Right.
common scenario now. So if the child is very sensitive, it's going to take it on itself. Okay, then that is what a mental stress I was talking about. The trauma, the abuse, and there are so many things which we are not aware the child is going through. Okay, then the lifestyle that I told you, and the most important thing that I would really like to talk about is the food. Now, what is changing from our grandparents to our kids is the food.
Correct.
Okay, I think you got my point that the food
Totally.
is changing. Food is changing means that was the era where we were used to eat ghee, where we used to eat the homemade food, and now it has converted into the noodles, pizza, pasta, burger, and anything you say to the Thai food. Basically, the westernization in the food, and the plastic, not to forget.
Right.
The plastic wasn't there that time. It has all, it has intruded in our daily habits. So it has intruded in our body, and it has definitely made some changes.
Right.
So to talk about the hormonal changes or the difference that you're finding from the 8 to 10 years, say, to the girls, is the mental trauma, the mental strain, and food.
Lovely. Great. I think before I think I was coming to the food aspect because that's something which I think like a lot of people can relate to. But just wanted to check, like Dr. Pooja, I think you had also invited, I think Pallavi madam. I'm not sure if she's here in the meeting, but can you just check so that we can probably just hear her experiences? Like she can probably throw some.
But I have to leave the meeting and call her.
She's not here. Is she not in the meeting right now?
Let me just check once.
I can't see her.
No, I can't see. Maybe she was waiting for your call. I told her that you might be calling her.
No worries.
So
I think we'll probably take it offline. Then probably we'll share her, like tell her to share some experiences offline, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Lovely. I think
perfect. Or she's already waiting for to join. So can you just, if you can get back to her, she will certainly she will join, because I think she had scheduled it.
Right.
She can come.
No worries. I think I'll just like check with her again offline if that's okay. Lovely. Just speaking about the like food aspect as well, right? The diet, coming to the diet part of it. So since we all like have their own opinions about different diet plans and weight management plans, and different, like, since a lot of trends that is happening, like I also tell my parents that I want to do intermittent fasting so that I lose some weight. So not really sure if it's working, not working. I haven't really evaluated very honestly, but considering, like, are there any kind of, maybe firstly, I think what works for you primarily, like personally, what is your diet like strategy, I would say, maybe if you can share, if not, and secondly, as a journal.
See, I'll tell you something that we have been working for this diet and fitness industry, that everyone is aware of, that how I have changed myself over a year.
I also know that, yes.
So so the drastic change is sustainable. Okay, and it's consistent for last few years of my life, and few years how I've spent, I also know. And now, at this very point, after a experience of thousands of patients and clients what I have realized it, no fad diet works. No amount of fad diet works. What works, is moderation is the key. You take it from me, n number of diets you follow, you are going to gain, or you are going to go back to your original state if there is no moderation. You have
Okay.
to take everything with a pinch of salt. Now, as you said that there were so many diets, so I can just name few like Atkins,
Yeah.
GM,
Yeah.
vegan, keto,
Right.
intermittent fasting, South Beach, low cal, high protein. So, yeah, all this works for a time being, but you
What
can't be
works
a
for you?
sannyasi.
That I want to know.
Uh, yeah,
What works
what
for you?
worked for me
Yeah.
is proper diet and proper exercise.
Okay.
So, the not a minute of exercise is a waste. So you
Okay.
have to exercise. Sometimes, I feel like, do I have to exercise all my life? Then yes, I have to exercise all my life, because there is no other option that you have. Uh, Not if at all I would haven't been into this fitness industry. There are some body types, Kannai.
Okay.
It's not generalized. You might have seen some lean, thin friends of yours who are just eating, 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 and not
Right.
gaining a kg also.
Yeah.
Forget kg, not even grams. And there are some, who are like looking at food, they gain weight. So
Correct.
it's a matter of your BMR. It's a matter of what metabolic rate you carry, what genes you carry,
Right.
so what tendency you have. So diet is a very, very nutrition diet is a very, very separate issue. But what works for me is a proper food and a proper exercise. And proper
Okay.
food means breakfast before 9:30, lunch by 1:30, and dinner by 8 o'clock. And yes, in between some fillers. Now the fillers, whenever I talk about fillers, the fillers are like fruits, buttermilk, green tea, khakra, makhana. They're all fillers. But you
Okay.
can't
Okay.
afford to do a diet at the cost of your three major meals, which are breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Correct. Yeah, I was coming to the timing aspect because I think intermittent is all about the time that you eat, right? So, like, does that make a difference as well to your, like weight management plan, or this timing
It
is
will
not really like,
see window of your not open for food.
correct?
That is what fasting means. So yes, it definitely works. I'm not saying that all these diets don't work, but they are not sustainable and they're not consistent. The only
Correct.
problem with that is if you have some kind of a project to achieve, you have
Mm-hmm.
to go through it. So it's not sustainable. So
Correct.
someone who wants to have some 55 kg, 50 kg in a span of 2 months, 1 month, then it's a prescription by force. I mean, I would never like to prescribe that. But if someone is forcing, no, we have to do that. No, we have to do the keto diet and all, then we just prescribe it. But
Okay.
it's not sustainable. It's something that will give you a result for a time being. And then once you
Mm-hmm.
start eating in a normal way, you're going to gain back more
Right.
because it already slows down your BMI.
Correct. I think yeah, just to in continuation to about the fitness aspect, right? Since like the physical activities were taken a toll during the lockdown because of the pandemic.
Perfect. Yeah.
So
See now, yeah. Please carry on with your question
no,
first.
no, I think no, just wanted to know because like there were like multiple effects that were seen even in children and across age groups. I wouldn't like go into that. But in terms of the physical aspect, like you said, fitness is like most like very important, right? To really cater to like along with the diet. So how did you what's your kind of mantra I would say, and like how are you also like what message also would you like to give in terms of even if you are being at home, like how do you like tackle these scenarios like in terms of fitness levels?
Mm, yeah. See now, the first thing what happened in the lockdown, that the maids weren't there. So first
Yeah.
thing we had to do was the household work, which we were never used to doing. So that added to some calorie burn. The second thing what happened that there's nothing that you can order from outside. So even getting a
Mm-hmm.
bread was a problem. So what was happening was a homemade food. So
Mm-hmm.
these two things worked best. And then as I said that work from home can happen, then workout from home can also happen. So at least for those 2-3 months when we were absolutely not even stepping out for a morning walk, evening walk, and kids not even they were going to the garden. So that was a time that I used to make my kids do some, watch some YouTube videos for the exercise, and three
Nice.
of us used to do those exercise. So
Okay.
it never happened that I'm a hardcore gymmer, but the
Okay.
first thing that stopped was a gymming. So when the gymming stopped, I thought now I'm going to go back to my previous weight soon in no time. But because, thanks to my maid, she didn't come for 4 5 months, and then the household work, then the homemade food, and taking care of everything and doing the 30 35 minutes of everyday workout from home, that really worked. I mean, I've seen many people losing weight, even gaining weight also had happened. Someone who wasn't doing a physical activity, so doing some walk only in the house,
Mm-hmm.
or doing
Right.
some floor exercise, watching some YouTube videos,
Right.
is something that I have done for myself. I've seen my kids doing it by myself, and I always forward that link to my patients who were following my diet, and that now if you are not able to do the walking and gymming, kindly do at least these exercises. They are pretty much possible with no equipments. You just need a yoga mat or a normal mat for that, and you can do it. So if there is a will, there is a way. You
Lovely.
can do it.
No, I think great. I think you're just to coming to that like quote that you mentioned. I think that's your mantra, and like how I think the organization, like the Relieve, right? If I'm
Yeah, relieve homeopathic and
yes,
weight
lovely. So I
management.
think it has a like a beautiful tagline, right? A journey towards healing. So that's something like
Hmm.
I could really like resonate with personally. But like I just wanted to understand, since like speaking about mental well-being and like mental health, I would say, are there any programs that you also, or maybe like initiatives that you are also doing in terms of addressing mental wellness for your patients and for your kind of clients that you are working with? Or is it just around diet or homeopathy? So like if you can just like throw some light on that.
Yeah. Kanna, basically, relief is a journey towards healing, and healing is a process. Okay, and we want to ease down that process. What we do homeopathically is giving you that to achieve that healing process. Now, how does it happen? Is I told you that the medicines that we prescribe are energy medicines. Okay,
Right.
means we don't give Ramban. What we give is a medicine according to the constitution of a patient. So we give that constitutional medicine. And as you were talking about the mental well-being and emotional well-being and physical well-being, so all these three things are interconnected, because
Mm-hmm.
the man is made up of body, mind, and soul. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to do something for the giving them a less painful life.
Right.
So the mental well-being will automatically be better, and the soul
Mm-hmm.
is having a relaxed state of mind. Okay.
Right.
So what we do in our medicine, we are already taught the psychology. We
Mm.
already have that every medicine is different from other. The way every now you and your brother, two different personalities, even born
Right.
to the same mother. So this is
Right.
how that individualization and subjectiveness matters in homeopathy.
Right.
That
Right.
one mother giving birth to two or three kids, but all three are different.
Mm.
Likewise, the subjective and individualization is taken place in homeopathy. So the programming, as you asked me, do you do something to have a program for our emotional health of the patient? So we strike there. We don't
Mm.
program it. We strike to the mental health of the patient who is having some issues, some tension, some stress. But what happens with
Mm-hmm.
our after our medicine is the situation is same, but your reaction to it
Mm.
differs. The
Correct.
same
Correct.
pain is lesser now. Okay, it
Correct.
is because of the your tolerance is increased.
Right.
Okay, or it is because the medicine has really given you that energy to bear it. And of course the
Okay.
healing process is going on at the physical level, but first what we try to heal
Right.
is your mind level.
Exactly. No, very true. Because yeah, just to like give kudos to the Project Mumbai team as well. So just for your reference, Dr. Pooja. So
Yeah,
Project Mumbai team has been working closely with the frontline workers during the pandemic. So right from the police personnel to the railways, like I mentioned, when we were discussing.
great.
So primarily, I think small things I think matter a lot, right? Because mental health being such a vast topic, there might not be one solution, right? For like just to address each category of
Yes.
stakeholder that we are tapping into. So I think like one initiative that Project Mumbai also had done was around Emotion Express. So that was something around how we could also show gratitude and like how we could address the mental well-being aspect of it. And that's how we also thought of like spreading this awareness like to our audience too and to our listeners as well through this IQM Wellbeing series as well. So I think great. I think personally, I think I like unless and until I just want to know in terms of your self care, because like you mentioned that you do like you were posting videos and you were sharing things right with your friends. So in terms of your self care, because I personally am a sports person, right? So for me, maybe I to go and run for like a kilometer or two, I might not be able to do that. I mean, I probably might crib about it. But if you probably tell me to go and play sports, I would probably do that, and that's my like a therapy for me, right? So, what has
Yeah,
been
yeah.
your kind of a therapy like in this like difficult scenario?
Mhm. See, always different for everyone. So if someone likes yoga, I might like gymming. So
Right.
someone likes walking, and the other person would might enjoy Zumba more.
Mhm.
So who gets high with what is different.
Yeah. True.
But now the more important is with the availability. The fitness centers weren't available that time. So the only thing which was possible for us to do some was workout from home,
Mhm.
or following some videos, or doing your own exercise, because even the personal trainers weren't allowed that time. So
Mhm.
you couldn't call anyone home and who can teach you how to do. So I think this 2020 what has taught us was most importantly self care only, that
Mhm.
you can do everything by yourself and you really don't need anyone to take care of yourself. So
True.
while the toughest time of our lockdown were going on, so how what was my self care routine was more involving near the diet. So I could eat fresh homemade food on time. I can give the same to my kids. Exercise, cleanliness, hygiene. No, the cleanliness is also something that really came to us in 2020 as a gift. That everything, right from your hands to your furniture to everything, so that
Right.
cleanliness, hygiene, and yes, balance of everything. So the most important thing during all this scenario was to balance yourself, accept some things and go ahead instead of
Right.
cribbing about it. Okay, I'm not, my fitness center is not available, I'm not getting the food, my dietitian has asked me to take chia seeds and I'm not getting it, so replace it with sabja seeds. No,
Mhm.
I'm not getting anything, she has asked me to eat some xyz roti, eat chapati. So
Correct.
you're getting my point, accept and go ahead, because
Mhm.
you know that you're living in such a scenario that 2020 taught us that yes, you are alive, you've got a second chance,
Mhm. Yeah.
and enjoy it now.
Yeah. Very
It was like that. So if you'll ask me, my self-care routine was physically diet, exercise, cleanliness, hygiene for me and for my kids, and mental level trying to keep that balance and accepting some things, leaving some things, and going ahead.
and I think also celebrating, right? Because I think I read.
Celebrating, yes.
Yeah, I think
But
definitely.
every day night, I mean every night I used to say thanks to God that yes, we got access tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. No, lovely. I think great. I think that's a really wonderful thought. Just one last like question from my end, at least. Like
Uh-huh.
in terms of like since we like you were also mentioning that the nutrition industry and the diet industry, maybe you might be having a certain audience in mind, right? And maybe that has definitely hampered during like because of the pandemic, like
Yes.
your number of clients has reduced, and in terms of
Yes.
the number of patients that like that has also like people are also like not really reaching out to dietitians or nutritionists in this current scenario because of multiple aspects. But I still
Yes.
remember very well that you mentioned that you still kind of hope and you see a silver lining, right? Post once the vaccine is out, or probably once like things settle down. So, like any thoughts or maybe any like advice or maybe anything that you just want to share with the listeners, so that we also know, right, what exactly is happening at your end. Because like I mentioned, like I was speaking to you yesterday, I was under the impression that maybe since everybody's at home right now, people are moving towards nutrition, they are moving towards fitness aspects, towards diet things. But that might not be the ideal scenario. So yeah, any I would love to like hear your like final thoughts if that's okay.
Yeah. See, I think what has happened has happened. That's okay, because that was a time of pandemic where people were more engaged in taking care of their younger ones, older ones, and still some unfortunately have lost the older ones. So that was not a time when they were really wanted to engage on the diet plans or fitness plans. So that time the lookout was completely different. The
Yeah,
attitude was
yeah.
completely different. So yes, we have faced those difficulties, that the patient number or the client number for the weight loss industry has gone down and all. But now after 2000, in 2021, after the vaccination and all, definitely everyone would like to have their immunity to the extent that they can fight back the pandemic. So
Mhm.
I have no doubt that everyone will get again enlightened with the thought that they want to go back to the perfect diet. So now no one will come, saying ki kaise bhi karke mujhe patla kar do. Now it will be like, give me a good immunity. So that has changed, and that is appreciable, that yes, now at least people have understood that what we need more is a fitness
Mhm.
than weight,
Right.
than the weight loss or the weight gain.
Correct.
So now I'm really appreciating this fact that people are coming to us saying that it's okay if weight is here and there, but we want to achieve a good immunity and a fitness, and that is what I want to work. That I don't know how many more numbers of years, but I want to work more for all ages, and to put that smile back on their face, that whenever they're leaving from my cabin, they should feel that yes, we have done something fruitful, and I'm feeling good, I'm feeling lighter, and the acidity is not there, or the weight loss is there or not there, I'm feeling good. The factor
Right.
that comes from inside, feeling good,
Mhm.
gives me high.
Nice, lovely. Great. I think that's something that we also strive, right? For example, since like considering the tight schedules that we all are going through, right? So that's something
Yeah.
I personally still try and do my bit in, like probably feeling that, like you said, right? Feeling that, like even small things, appreciating those small things just for yourself, just to give that validation to yourself, right? You don't need anybody else to really come and appreciate, like, okay, maybe can I do
Yes.
well, right? But that's something that I
Yes.
need to do it on a regular basis so that I also feel proud for what I'm doing. So great. I think just like I'll just open the platform for any questions just in case.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Please.
would love to
Please.
like hear if anybody, like just in case anybody wants to ask anything to Dr. Pooja about their diet plan or anything, any secrets that you would want to know. Please feel free to unmute if there is anybody, right? Or else we can
Yes.
probably take
Please.
it
Please.
offline. Yeah. Probably you can all.
Kanna, you can
Yeah.
share my number and email ID. I mean,
Sure. Sure.
just to, if remember something, or if I wanted to ask, or maybe even I might have missed out on something. It's not that every speaker speaks and everyone is just okay with it. There would be some queries, or there will be someone who wants to ask something. They can personally send it to me, and I can definitely go back and yes, I do online consultations as well. And online consultation only, what for the diet consultation was working more during the pandemics. And it's not that I just do it for the Mumbai based people, I do it for people in abroad, Dubai, USA, because and to some patients that I have never even seen them. So just, forwarding my questionnaire and getting the the all the reply from them, I chart out a diet plan. So distance is not, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are, I can make a diet plan for you.
Lovely. Great. I think.
So online consultation is also there, and there would be someone who is might not aware of homeopathy, or the substance homeopathy. So if you have any query related to that or related to diet, I'm always free to answer you. I can definitely reply you back, if not immediately, but I'll definitely reply back. So whenever a speaker speaks and goes, but I'm the one who would like to keep a follow up, because I've been into the corporate also, and this is hotel, Orchid Hotel, our Mumbai airport. So they had specifically invited me to give a diet plan for their employees who are working in the night shifts. So I had given them that chart for what they are supposed to do for their night shifters, and I got a lovely feedback.
Right.
Follow up was superb. They were actually following it for the night shifters, because I got that feedback from them. And then another one I had done was for the diet in summer. So people were really following till the rainy season. So whenever I speak, prescribe along with the diet plan. Yes, yes, I do that. I also prescribe, but I don't prescribe homeopathy for weight loss. I prescribe homeopathy if it is required, and diet plan, they are two different things. So I don't give homeopathic medicine for reducing weight. I might give it for the hormonal imbalances if anyone is facing or anything like that. But can I kindly keep a follow-up of our session? So
Definitely, I think what
you
we
ask
can
everyone personally if they were convinced, if they were not convinced at any point, if they want to fight back with me on some point, I'm ready to do that.
definitely no, lovely.
All topics that you are encountering, they are the topic of love to the discussion.
No,
So time is really less, but I would still want to take more questions, if not now, on the personal background, and I will reply them back. And I'm ready to do the session again for Team Mumbai,
Project
right?
Mumbai and FitKit, yes.
Project Mumbai. I would love to do the session also again if you want to again highlight on one specific point.
No, lovely. I think before, like, just for the audience, we'll be also posting this session like on our social media handles. So, like, you can definitely connect with
Yeah.
Dr. Pooja later on. But, like, Dr. Pooja, just a request if you can just share your email ID here in the chat box. So, just in case if anybody
Yeah,
wants to
I'll
reach out to
yes, I'll do that.
you, just in case if someone is
I'll
not
do that.
able to connect with you through some other source. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Pooja, I have a question. I'm Sheshagiri here.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
if see, I'm already into allopathy medicine. So if I have to consult you, should I switch over to homeopathy or still I can continue with allopathy? What is your recommendation?
But for what you're taking allopathic medicines? For what elements you're taking allopathic
No, I'm
medicine?
taking for my basically my BP and sugar.
Yeah. No, but then since how many years you're taking allopathic medication?
I have never taken homeopathy. So for last 10
No.
years, maybe.
Since how many years you're taking
10,
allopathic medication for
10,
hypertension and
10 years, 10 years.
then in one go we cannot stop your medicine because your body's got used to it. So we have to keep you on homeopathy and allopathy for some time, and then taper off your allopathic medicine with consent of your doctor.
Okay.
And we can definitely do it, but it all depends upon age, the reports, blood reports, but we can start it hand in hand because the it's on your body. Go stop if you not get stopped immediately medicine eventually, and then putting you on homeopathy and maybe eventually the medicine free.
My question came from when you change doctors, the doctor completely stops the previous doctor's medicines and he does his own prescription. Likewise, I just wanted to ask if you come to homeopathy, whether the allopathy stops and homeopathy is prescribed.
No.
Okay.
See, if you'll go from one allopathic doctor to another allopathic doctor, they will might stop the previous prescription and give their prescription. If you will come, if you're coming to me for homeopathy from a previous homeopath, I will ask you to stop medicine of a previous homeopath and start with mine. But if you're coming from one pathy to another pathy, then the switching off is not immediately.
Okay. Yeah, that I got clarified. Thanks, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Thanks, Sheshagiri, sir. Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Pooja ma'am, I would like to know if homeopathy works for emotional imbalances also, along with hormonal.
Yes, it works for emotional imbalances, because in this pandemic, the most importantly what we have faced is all our patients who were pretty hale and hearty had started giving symptoms of anxiety and depression. Okay, to the extent to suicidal, to the extent to loss of sleep. So after giving them the medicine, they are now sleeping well, eating well, and enjoying their life. So it definitely works for hormonal also and for emotional also.
So would this require the continuous intake of homeopathy medicines for a certain period of time? What is your?
It depends upon since when a person is facing that issue. If it's so it depends upon the duration how long a person is suffering. If a person is suffering, say from 3 years, 4 years, so minimum duration to take medicine would be 3 to 6 months, depending upon the recovery of a patient. Some might recover in a month also, but we
Okay.
cannot say that 3 months, 2 months, 6 months. It
Right.
depends upon person to person, but it works for sure. But it goes, like if it's a 2 to 3 years old disease that you're carrying in your body, so it will at least require 2 to 3 months of treatment
Okay. Okay.
minimum.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So you would be open on your phone to receive WhatsApp call or something of that
Yes,
sort?
absolutely. Absolutely.
And what are the timings?
For the clinic timings, you are asking me?
Yes, yes.
The clinic timings are 10 to 1 and 6:30 to 8:30.
So you're expecting
Every
calls
day.
in between these, right?
No, you can message me in between also. I'll reply
Okay.
as and when possible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, most welcome.
Great, thanks, Preeti, for that. Really appreciate it. Okay, lovely. Any just like last thoughts? Anybody like would want to ask anything, or else we can then conclude it.
If anyone has some query later on also, I will definitely solve it. Kannai?
Please, Dr. Pooja, that's a request. I mean, like people will definitely like flood you with.
Please, please,
So,
please, please, please.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
I
the
think thanks a
session
lot.
happened very quickly. The session happened very quickly. Even
Yeah,
I didn't get extensive time for studying. And this came up. No, we can just plan it on your platform whenever
I think what I have experienced. More you mentioned that you also didn't want it to make it one way. I think like thanks a lot for the audience first of all joining in for this session.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Thanks to everyone.
Feel free to reach out to like FitKit or Project Mumbai team for any further questions, or we can also directly connect you with Dr. Pooja, and she has also shared her credentials. So would love to get your feedback if there is any that you would want us also to like take any particular topic or any particular theme. We would love to like organize those sessions for you guys as well. Great, I think thanks a lot again, Dr. Pooja. Really appreciate.
Most welcome.
Keep connected and like take care. Thanks guys. Take care.
Yes. Everyone take care. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.